What's up, nerds? My name is Steve from Flipping the Nerd, and this is Video Game Blah Blah, episode 89, the annual E3 prediction show. I'm super excited. This is basically my favorite time of year as far as the gamer part of me, and there's a lot to cover, so I'm not going to go through too much blah blah at the beginning because there are 6 conferences this year and there's always a lot to talk about. Joining me this year, a special guest, we have Julian. Julian, thank you for coming on the show, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. I every year I watch on YouTube what's going on with the E3 conferences, and this year I heard some pretty cool stuff coming in. So yeah, it will be fun to talk about them.
Just before we start quickly, what consoles do you own? What are your favorite type of games? And just tell us a little bit of what kind of gamer you are.
Okay, so I owned the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One. But my favorite games are, well, there is only one series. It's Assassin's Creed, and every year Assassin's Creed, it's there is some cool storyline. I tell my friends that Ubisoft created an entire series that actually and teachers can learn from it because they're using sometimes real historical characters that lived, 200, 300, 400 years ago, and it's 89% of the time it was what happened at the time. So yeah, I'm always looking forward for Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, you must be especially excited this year because this is the first time ever since Assassin's Creed started that we haven't had one for 2 years now, as opposed to the annual update.
Yeah.
So you must be especially ready for what they're going to announce about the series this year.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Origins, that should be they are still going to use it. So yeah, if it does work, yeah. Some of the storylines are keep it secret, of course, but yeah, I'm looking forward for this one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And those who watch the show, pretty much know what I'm about. But very quickly, I have 360, Xbox One, PS4, PS3, the Wii, but not the Switch because I don't feel that I really need it yet. Zelda is a great game and everything, but until Mario comes out, I haven't really had the gumption to go out and buy it. But I will get to Switch eventually. So I do play all 3 consoles, and my favorites are, they range, and you'll hear them through the conference. I won't really go through them, but Assassin's Creed is a very special game for me. I mean, it was made in my hometown of Montreal, so there's always pride in that. And
cool.
yeah, I mean, I've played every single one of them to completion, and I love it. And like you, I can't wait to finally. I need my fix. Like I didn't get my fix this year, and it's not cool. It's I actually played Rogue this year, so to kind of put it in there because I missed it because it came out at the same
me
time
too. Me too. Since it is part of the backward
compatibility. That's right.
Yeah. So I'm still playing it. It's very long. There is a lot of side stories that are very interesting, and yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So let's get right into it. Let's dive in. So we're going to start with what I think is going to be the biggest conference this year. And I'm not saying that because I'm more of an Xbox fan, if I'm honest. It's just that because they're presenting a new console, it's always more exciting for me if a company is presenting a new console. So if Sony was, presenting a new console, I'd say the same thing. But we'll start with Microsoft. They're the first one to go of the 3 companies that have a console. So here's what we know so far. Number 1, of course, the Xbox Scorpio, which is a code name right now. We don't know what the actual name is yet. is going to be shown, probably shown first. I have a feeling they're going to start the conference right away, get it out of the way, and then tell you every single game that goes forward. This game plays best on Xbox Scorpio. They're going to tout that they're the most powerful console the whole time, and you can definitely bet on that. So that's something we know. Halo 6 will not be there. They've already confirmed that Halo 6 won't be there. 343, I think, might be there anyways. So there might be a Halo-type property, maybe a teaser for something, but they said definitely Halo 6 won't be shown. Crackdown 3 and Sea of Thieves will definitely be there as well. Both of them have been shown in the past, and I think this year is their big actual reveal. So that'll be two big console-exclusive games that they're going to show. And finally, another sure thing every year, they're going to show the new Forza Motorsport, which is Forza 7 this year. Anything exciting to you in those things that we know for sure are going to happen?
Well, I think with the Scorpio, they will push Forza, and that will be the game that will be pushed with the new console, I think. Because last year there was some with the new Forza game, which was amazing. The graphics were amazing.
Yeah.
And I with the 4K, Scorpio is it will be a 4K console. They will. I think it's Forza, that number one game that they will push for the Scorpio. It will be the Forza game.
Yeah, it's very possible. Actually, when they showed off specs of the Scorpio already. They wanted to kind of get all the specs out of the way before the conference, and the game that they showed, the people who showed the specs was Forza. So definitely a good thing. At Turn 10, like you said, their graphics are amazing. It makes sense.
Oh my God!
They just get it, So the one thing that'll be interesting before we get into it is, for the first time I feel ever, it's going to be hard to show just how nice the graphics are, because TVs won't be able to capture the 4K that they're trying to present. So it's going to be an interesting...
For that, there is already out. There is some 4K TVs. Well, right now they are, but when the console will go up for sale, the price will go down just a little bit, I think. And then maybe, for Black Friday or Christmas, they will go down a little bit more. But to be able to play the game perfectly, you have to wait a little bit more to have your own price range that you would like to have. So that's what I think.
My concern is more how they're going to show it at the conference, right? Because I have a 4K TV, but I'm going to be watching on my one, which doesn't output 4K. So they're going to should tell you it's the nicest graphics ever, but your TV probably can't handle the graphics that they're putting out. So it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with that, because it should look better once you get your Scorpio and your 4K TV than it does when you're watching the conference on your cell phone or something like that. So, but it'll be, I think it'll be pretty cool. So let's get to the predictions. So I'll start with you. Throw me a prediction you have for the Microsoft conference.
Since last year, I think it was last year for the I think it was the 360 games that can be played. And as a member of, I am a member of the preview. I'm a preview member, so I get to experience it during the summer, and that was pretty cool. And to be able to play the old game system, I know it took some of the best game that they had in their catalog a little bit more time.
Right.
Just this year, they finally got the Black Ops games. But, you know, I don't know what they can do with it to top that. Maybe, wait, no, they had the music about it. They did talk about the music already. You know, the background music.
Yeah, and they just put out Game Pass.
Yeah, the Game
Recently.
Pass, which is awesome.
Right.
I don't know if there is something that they can top that. Or maybe the cross-platform games that can be interesting. Since I have friends that have PS4, but I don't have a PS4, it will be interesting to see a maybe only online or maybe not on co-op yet, but maybe on multiplayer, be able to play games together from PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I know they've tried in the past. I'm trying to remember what game they tried it with. It could have been. I don't remember, but I know for sure that they're doing it right now with Windows 10, so you can cross-play PC and
Yeah, I
Xbox.
saw that. Yeah, with I think it was with Rocket League.
Yeah, that's right, Rocket League.
Yeah, Windows 10 and Xbox One, but maybe
But
something
I think Sony
between.
didn't want to do it.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't need to, right? They just weren't open to it. So I don't know if that is something that they'll be able to. I know Microsoft is open to doing it, but I don't think Sony is. So I'm not sure about that. My first prediction will be, and I'm going to go with the Scorpio just for the announcement. I think the Scorpio is going to cost $499 US, which I think is too much. To be honest with you, that's what the one cost, and I think I know it's a premium console. You're paying for a lot more power, but I still think that it's out of market to go that high. So I'm really hoping that it's lower than that. But my prediction is it will be $499. I think it's going to look exactly like an Xbox One, but a lot smaller, and it's going to be two-tone. It's going to be white on top, black on the bottom. And I think the name of it is simply going to be Xbox. I have a feeling that they've been talking about quicker iterations of these consoles so that they'll come out more often than every 8 years. And from now on, they're just going to call it Xbox, version 1, version 2, version 3, and just kind of like an Apple product. You have iPhone 1, 2, 3, 4. I have a feeling that's what Xbox is going to start doing. So just iterations on the Xbox name. Or it will be called Xbox One Elite. I think it'll be one of those two. So that's my prediction as far as the Scorpio goes. You think that sounds accurate? Or
yeah, I mean, or maybe like like you said, the Xbox name, and then having like the logo of a Scorpio on top of it or on the side of it. Maybe between the size of the PS4 and the Xbox, or lighter.
I think it'll be small. I think it'll be smaller. I think it's going to be a really small box.
It's smaller, but the weight will be lighter,
Right.
because now technology, you can get, chips,
right,
less pounds, but yeah.
Yeah. Do you have another prediction for us for Microsoft?
Microsoft, for me, it will be the let's see. I think for Microsoft, like maybe a portable, like a minimization of maybe on the side of an item that can look like an Xbox, maybe where you can um, put your sort of your games or your you already put your stuff in the cloud, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you go to a friend's house and you bring with you your a minimized version of the Xbox where you can hook it up to your friend's TV and you can play your own, your own game, and your friend has his own games. It's house, maybe something like that.
Okay.
It will be. Do you think they have the technology for it?
Well, you can already do it through if your friend has an Xbox One, you can log into your account on someone else's Xbox and access your game. Right?
Yeah.
As far as
but bringing like a device,
right? I don't know if it'd have to be something kind of just like a chip or something, or I don't think it'd have to be very big. Just like your external storage, essentially. Just kind of like a little brick that you bring and plug in. I'm not sure. And then I'm not sure Microsoft, other than the Scorpio, are going to announce too many hardware details. I have a feeling, or even part of their service, because that was one of the complaints last year, is they were talking about too much of their things that were coming to the preview program, like Arena and all that kind of stuff. I have a feeling this year they might just put out kind of a one-page sheet after the event to explain that kind of stuff. I think this year they're really going to focus on games, which brings me to my next prediction. I don't think there will be a single mention the entire conference of Kinect, HoloLens, or virtual reality at all. I don't
really
think
so. No VR, no big update of the VR.
No, I think it's coming. I do think it will come to the Xbox eventually, probably in conjunction with the Oculus Rift. But I just don't think this year, because they're launching Scorpio, that they're going to talk about any other hardware at all. Nothing.
Okay.
Just they want people to focus on the Scorpio, and maybe down the line do another event where they present VR or AR in the form of HoloLens or the Oculus Rift. I just think it's too much. It's going to take too much time to bring in something else to the party, another piece of hardware. And I think we've seen HoloLens enough now, where unless you intend to release it, don't show it off anymore. At the E3 conference anyway. I think that should stay for something like GDC, where they're showing off tech, rather than something like E3, where people are more expecting game announcements than tech announcements. So I really think their focus is going to be on the Scorpio, and that's it. But that's my opinion, right? That's just a prediction. I could be totally wrong. So
that's fine. That's fine, man.
Yeah, Sony. We'll get there later. Definitely a lot of VR, I hope, but Microsoft, I don't think so at all. And the other three I had, I don't think, again, there's going to be a new Gears of War or a new Halo. We just had a new Gears of War last year, Gears of War 4. They already said they're not going to present Halo 6, but I do anticipate that we're going to see Marcus Phoenix and Master Chief somehow in the conference. Whether it's DLC that they're going to present, or I don't know, something. I have a feeling we're going to see Master Chief and Gears of War at the conference some way, somehow. I don't know how, but I have a feeling they're going to somehow show up, just because that's really Microsoft's two biggest players as far as franchises go. I expect, and this is a big one, I don't think this will become true, but it's still a prediction. I expect 5 unannounced console exclusive games to be announced at Microsoft stage. So This doesn't count Sea of Thieves or Crackdown because those have already been announced. But 5 games that will be console exclusive to Xbox will be shown during the conference. That means it could come to PC because Microsoft, of course, with Windows 10 are kind of hand in hand, but something that won't come to Switch or PlayStation. And I'm saying five different games because I think they need to.
5. Okay, so can it be remember they work with ID, independent game developers? The prediction is only for the mainstream one or including the indies?
No, mainstream, because for sure indies are going to have more than 5. That'd be too easy. I'm saying AAA. Now, they might not full on announce them, but they're at least going to show like a trailer or a quick gameplay. You know, it might not have like a big like spiel about it, but they're going to announce 5 games, AAA games, exclusive to the console during their conference. Because I think that's what Microsoft needs most is more exclusivity. And I think they're going to bring the big guns this year. They've been talking to other studios. They've bought some studios, and I think those are the 5. They need that for the console. And speaking of that, I think either a new Battletoads or Banjo game will be announced at the conference as well, just because there seems to be interest. Now, the one thing that is against that is that those are both Rare titles, and Rare is doing Sea of Thieves, so I don't think they would be done by Rare. I think another studio would have to take it over, but I foresee a Battletoads or Banjo game being announced at the conference. So those are my 5 predictions. You think I'm out to lunch on these, or?
No. I mean, I was thinking of the number 3, and it was included, indies, because I look for more independent gaming than the mainstream one. But sure, okay.
I hope they. I think they'll have a lot of indies as well, but I just don't want to count them in this prediction because it'll make it harder. As far as wishes go, what do you really hope to see at Microsoft's conference if you had kind of a couple of wishes to? So you're in a room with Phil Spencer, and he's like, "I'm giving you what do you want to see at this conference? I'm going to give it to you. What do you think those things would be?"
Wow. Okay. Prediction. You mean like gaming, like a special game that?
Yeah, it could be anything gaming. It could be a feature. It could be something about the Scorpio. Just something that you really want to see for Microsoft.
Okay. Well, for me, it would be a very cool controller that has already the 3.5 jack on the Elite on it, right. And the ones that come with the Xbox S. But what I would like to have it. People play games and they don't want to disturb their friends, right. And so having a Bluetooth that works with the Xbox, right. And with your actual controller.
Yep.
Okay, so there is no wires, like own controller. You have a plug or a special system on there that you right. have a special Bluetooth. I'm actually Bluetooth headset, like for the 360. I used to have the Modern Warfare Call of Duty one.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're doing. Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't even think about the controller. I wonder if they're gonna. I don't think they'll switch the controller too much, but that would be something they need that. It's just I hate my headset right now. I hate having to plug it into the bottom with that giant dongle, and it just yeah, no, thank you. Any other thing you would like to see from Microsoft?
And I know I'm going to see one of my favorite game, with Assassin's Creed. It's Forza,
Right.
and I will be happy to see Forza. The I know the graphics will be phenomenal, and that's the. I'm not looking for a lot, Bluetooth and a game that have the best graphics that look real. And I'm sure you played Battlefront.
Yep.
And for me, the graphic looks so real,
Right.
and you see the trees and the even the snow when you play during that map. I mean, like something for too much. Do you think I'm looking for too much?
No, I don't think so. I think actually you're gonna get what you want, whereas I'm not gonna get what I want.
Come on.
Here's what I want. Number one, my favorite game of all time is Minecraft. I've played so much Minecraft, it's almost embarrassing. Microsoft owns Minecraft. They own Mojang. They own 4J. I think this is, and I've been predicting this for the last 3 years, by the way, and I every year I'm disappointed, but I'm hoping that this is the year where they announce that Minecraft is going to allow mods on the Xbox. I think because we now have mods in certain games. Fallout 4 is a great example. Elder Scrolls Skyrim has mods on console. I think the best way to move Minecraft forward with the same game at this point is to allow mods on the Xbox so that I can get HD graphics if I want on my Minecraft. I can turn my pigs into Macho Man Randy Savage dragons if I want. I just want to go crazy with Minecraft. I've played so much of it at this point that I need something crazy to really keep me hooked. And I think that would be the best thing is mod support for Minecraft.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, you can play as Jason Voorhees if you want to,
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, exactly, right? So that's my first one. Second one is I'm really hoping that Game Pass, like we said, just got launched about 2 weeks ago.
And it's pretty cool.
Right.
I love it.
So basically, for those who don't know what it is, it's it's 112 games that are on it right now. It's kind of like a Netflix for video games. You pay $10 a month, 12 in Canada where I live. But anyway, $10 a month. You get full access to all of these games. You can you download them. It's not a streamable service. You just download them to your console and you can play them as you want. Like backwards compatibility, it's a little bit light on games right now because they just launched it, and I understand that. Backwards compatibility was the same thing when they launched it. There's only 100 games, and now there's 500 something games, so you have to give it time. I understand that. I'm hoping that they announce major games for the Game Pass at E3, saying, thank you, we just launched Game Pass, this is what it is. As of even today, they're going to say, as of tonight, we're adding, I don't know, 4 or 5 really top-notch AAA games to the service, and this is a reason why you should buy it, right? So we'll see what that is, because right now the only must-play games I'd say are Halo 5, Sunset Overdrive, Mad Max is a good one that a lot of people missed, and a few of the 360 games like BioShock and Gears of War. So
BioShock Infinite.
Yeah, all the BioShocks and all the Gears of War, so except for 4.
Yeah.
So that's something I hope as well. 3, this is, it's kind of part of my predictions too, but I wish I'm getting Xbox Scorpio on day one. It's just the way it is. I always get the consoles on day one. I want that one game that's going to blow me away, that I'm like, that's the game that I'm going to stick into my Xbox Scorpio first, right? That's the one that, because right now it's probably going to be Assassin's Creed Origins. Just like when I bought my Xbox One, it was Assassin's Creed
Thank you.
Black Flag.
Yeah.
But I still want that game that is announced. I'm like, wow, okay, this is the one that is going into my Scorpio first. So I'm hoping to see that. I'd love backwards compatibility for original Xbox games. So right now we have it for the 360, but now I'd like it as well for the OG Xbox games. I understand not a ton of people are going to play them, but I would go back and play things like Fable 1, Knights of the Old Republic, and a couple other games that I would love to see. And I think that they should give it to us for free. They're old games at this point. Why not just throw them into the service for free? It would just please people. It'd be crowd service. So that's something I would wish. And finally, 3 years now. 3 years we've been hearing about Cuphead. I remember covering it on the show the very first time I saw it. I thought it looked amazing. And then I was excited about it 2 years ago because I thought it was getting close. Then last year I thought, well, it's going to be released this year. And here we are, 2017, still no Cuphead. Cuphead needs to come out. It's getting at that same level that No Man's Sky had on Sony's side. We need to have Cuphead out, and it needs to be like before August, or at least before the end of 2017, because I don't want to see it anymore. I've seen too much at this point. So those are my 5 wishes for Microsoft's conference. Any comments on those?
You know, when the Scorpio will come out, a month free of Game Pass, I guess, with it. You know,
that probably makes sense. A month free Game Pass, maybe a month free of Xbox Live as well.
And then afterwards, since you have the Scorpio, maybe like a part of since you have the Scorpio, like a membership thing where like 25% off of any game since you have the Scorpio, right. You know, something like that. That will make sense, I think. And the free game, like every month we already get 1, 2, 3,
4 games.
6. Well, 4. Yeah, 4 games for free. Like another 2 from the original Xbox game. If you know they will. If I'm going from what you said, that having like 2 other games from the original Xbox for free. You know, maybe.
I actually think they should all be free. I honestly think
really not having like only 2 games. You want.
I think
catalog of the original for free.
What they can, because they're such old games, it would just be crowd service at that point. Not a ton of people are going to play it. I don't think there's that much interest for it. But if you think, well, I got them for free, even though most people won't play it anyway, just the fact that you have that for free is a value to the Xbox. It's something you can tell people, do I want an Xbox or a PlayStation? Well, Xbox, you have the One games, the Scorpio games, you get a lot of 360 games, and you have the entire Xbox library for free, the original Xbox. It's just another thing to add to their kind of marketing speech. But that's just my opinion. Or you put it on Games Pass for free there instead of just giving it away, right? So they at least get some kind of money for it. Anything else on Microsoft before we move on to Sony?
No. Just I'm guessing play Forza and Origin on the first day of the release.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Who knows what will be announced, right? So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. Actually, the first game I played on my One was Dead Rising 3. And the 3 games I bought on the day of the One's release was Dead Rising 3, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and Lego Marvel Superheroes were the 3 games I bought.
Okay.
And the reason I chose Dead Rising 3 out of the 3 to play first is because it was made for Xbox One, whereas Black Flag was made for both 360 and Xbox One, so I was afraid it wouldn't look as good as it could. It turned out to be wrong because it looked fucking amazing. But it was a great game anyway. All right, let's get to Sony. So Sony, the other big one I'm very excited for. I have a PS4, like I said. I don't play it as much in my Xbox, to be honest, but I do play it. So here are the things we know so far. Days Gone, God of War, and Spider-Man will be shown at the conference. Those were 3 of my favorite games shown last year of all conferences. Days Gone is an amazing zombie shooter game. God of War is God of War 4. And Spider-Man. They have an exclusive Spider-Man coming to their console, and it looks friggin' amazing. So I'm excited about that. Call of Duty World War II will be shown off at Sony's conference. I'm not a big Call of Duty guy, especially online, but I am a big fan of their campaigns.
Yeah,
and I'm happy that they're getting away from the future stuff for now.
Yeah.
I loved Battlefield 1. I thought it was a really cool thing that they went back. And World War II, I think it's time. There was fatigue for that in the early 2000s where we saw way too much World War II. But now I think it's time to come back, and I'm looking forward to it. Death Stranding will not be shown at the conference. So Hideo Kojima's new game won't be present at the conference. But that's fine. I think it's so far out still that if they showed it again this year, we'd start that fatigue of seeing it too much. So I think it's good that it won't be there. And finally, we're going to see Uncharted's new DLC. I forget what it's called, but it's going to appear at the conference as well. So let's get into some predictions. Now, you don't have a PS4. So
but I know how to. I have a friend who has one, and I used to go to his house and play Uncharted. I actually bought him for Christmas when the Uncharted 3 came out. I actually bought him the collector's edition for him. Cool. I played a little bit. For me, Uncharted is Sony. For me, it is the Sony PlayStation game. And Uncharted, the new DLC, and maybe something for Uncharted 5, maybe-ish.
I don't think so.
The thing is, for Uncharted 5, it's mostly maybe the movie that will come out in the future. So it's maybe not the actual game, like Assassin's Creed didn't get the game, but they get the movie. So I think it will be the same thing.
Okay.
For me, for Sony PlayStation, Spider-Man, I can't wait to try it out. And I would like to try for once a Resident Evil on VR.
Oh, crazy. I love it. It's a little bit sickening. Yeah, it's a little bit sickening, I'll be honest with you, because I have played Resident Evil 7 on VR. The problem is that, especially with Resident Evil, there's people chasing you the whole game, and you have to get away, and it's a little sickening with the camera because you're moving with the controller.
Oh, okay.
And so I can't play more than an hour at a time, but it is very, very cool. And that's one thing, and I'll talk about VR a lot. I'm a huge VR fan. I got the PSVR the day it came out. I am all for this technology. I love it. I love being in those worlds, and horror was what I wanted the most out of it. So, yeah, that'll definitely come into play. But if you get a chance to try it, I would highly recommend that and Until Dawn Rush of Blood are the two horror games that I would recommend the most, for sure. My prediction, so I have 5 for Sony as well. Number 1, we're going to get release dates and gameplay for Days Gone, God of War, and Spider-Man. Last year, we got no release dates for any of these games. So I think they need release dates now because we don't want to see these at E3 2018, I think they need to come out before E3 next year. Final Fantasy VII will have a very quick gameplay trailer, but absolutely no release date because I don't think it's anywhere near ready to be released. I think they will take no less than 3 swipes at Microsoft during their conference. I think they're going to somehow try to stick it to Microsoft and make it very obvious. So I think that's something we're going to see during that conference. I think a major franchise like Resident Evil last year is going to get a PSVR game. I'm not sure which one, but I think a major franchise is going to get a PSVR game again. And I think they're going to announce a $50 price drop on all their SKUs. I think PS Pro is going to go down $50. I think the PS4 Classic is going to go down $50, and maybe even the Vita. So I think that's something. Those are the 5 things I expect to see at Sony's conference. What do you think of those?
Yeah, I mean, the price go down, so I'll be able to buy one, a PS4 Pro. That would be good. Maybe maybe more games if Sony want to have their customers play more VR games. Maybe like an excellent VR game that we play the game on PS4 and say maybe this game should be play as a VR. There is some that can be interesting,
Right.
that you will not think twice about to play it, as VR and not the usual way. New prediction for Sony, maybe. Do they have Bluetooth?
They do.
I'm sort of new on the PS4 thing.
They
so
do
they have
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Headset, right?
Both headset and controller.
Okay.
Controller has no battery pack on PS4.
Okay. So yeah, I mean they already have it. No, I mean for me it would be maybe a new one of those big mainstream game, a sequel into it. Maybe a new version for Killzone. Because I still remember
it's been a while.
Killzone.
Yeah, it's been a while since we saw new Killzone, since the release of PS4 actually. So
was it Infamous?
Yep, that's another one. It's been a while since we haven't seen Infamous in a while.
Infamous game, or maybe like a HD version or a better version of a old game from the PS2 games or the PS1 games, maybe.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not sure which one, but like they had Crash Bandicoot last year, so I don't know which one they would do this year. But yeah, definitely all great predictions there. As far as wishes go, I wrote 4 for them. Number 1, I want, and this won't happen, so don't hold your breath. I want Days Gone, God of War, and Spider-Man to get a 2017 release because I want those games really badly. I think all 3 games look absolutely fantastic, and I want to play them right away. So that'd be great. I think, again, like I said with Microsoft, with 5 console exclusive games, I want 5 PSVR games announced at Sony's conference. I think they don't have enough. They had a ton come out right when the PSVR came out, and then all of a sudden, poof, basically nothing. So that really sucked. I hope they announce a lot more. I think they're going to announce a movie service with the PSVR. So there are a few movie apps right now already kind of there, but an actual proper Sony service where I know there's certain TV shows and certain movie properties that want to do like kind of quick movies in VR so that people can experience. And I think Sony should kind of roll with that ball. Maybe use one of their franchises as a launching point. Like you said,
which one?
Which one?
Which one would you like to see as a VR?
I'll go to the next one, which is I want to see The Last of Us 2 gameplay. Last of Us was one of my favorite games of all time. We know Last of Us 2 is coming because they announced it at Sony's last event, and that's something I would think would be great in VR. The Last of Us 2 would be amazing in VR. That world is so beautiful and so dark, and it's just, I think that would be a great franchise to bring to VR. So there's that. And finally, I want to see Until Dawn 2. Until Dawn is a great horror game. It's a choose-your-own-adventure kind of horror game. You never know who in your party is going to die. It's so awesome. I'd love to see it, and not only see it, but see it in VR as well. Until Dawn Rush of Blood was very cool, but it's on rails, so it's just, you're kind of in a roller coaster the whole time. I'd like to see just, Last of Us 2 and Until Dawn in VR in their proper format. So those are my wishes for Sony. You have any wishes for Sony?
For gaming wise, I don't play the PS4. That's the thing.
Right.
Gaming. Well, I've read. I've watched gameplays of Until Dawn and Last of Us, and they are two pretty good games. Both games, I guess. Versions of it.
Right.
I guess that's it. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't. I know a lot about the PlayStation, but the hardware or the software and some games.
Right.
But that's it.
All right, it's cool. Let's move on to Nintendo then, because we do have a lot to cover still. Nintendo,
Yes.
I know absolutely nothing about what's coming out for Nintendo. They're not technically at E3. They have a Nintendo Direct, which is kind of like their own version of what they do. They haven't released a single thing. Little things that I don't care about, so I'm not even going to mention them. So I'm just going to go straight into predictions. One, we're going to see new Mario Odyssey gameplay. I think that's a given. They announced it last year. It looked really cool. That's probably the game that's going to make me buy a Switch. I think they're going to announce a new Metroid. I think that'll be their biggest announcement. It's been a long time since we've seen Samus and Metroid. I think it's time for a new one. I think they're going to announce a Switch Sports. So Wii Sports is one of the biggest games of all time. And I think Switch needs a sports game that people really associate the sports with Nintendo. So at least in their kind of cartoony comic form. But I think Switch Sports will be something they'll announce. They're going to announce new Switch colors, just colors that you can have your controllers and stuff like that. And finally, some Zelda DLC, I think they're going to announce as well. You have anything to say about Nintendo, or?
Yes, I would like a new. The new Zelda game was interesting to try. I tried it at the GameStop locally, and it was the graphics are amazing from of equipment the Switch is, and but I would like to see an sort of the continuation of that storyline from that new Zelda game. I would like to see Mario to be more from the origin of Mario. The release, it can be released on the Wii or on the Switch, something like that.
Right now, for sure.
That's the only two thing I can think of for the Switch.
Yeah. For sure.
Maybe like a Switch 2.0,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Is Switch something you would be ever interested in buying?
If the price was right, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when the price goes down.
Oh yeah.
All right, and my 4 wishes for Nintendo. I hope that they come out with a big third-party franchise exclusive, something like they had like Bayonetta a couple of years ago, just to show that they're back on board with third parties. A tease for Donkey Kong Country Switch. I love Donkey Kong Country. I think it's one of the greatest Nintendo games ever. So that's something that would be cool. A Super Nintendo Classic console. So we got the NES Classic last year. For those who were lucky enough to get one, it's very cool. I enjoy mine tremendously. But Super Nintendo was always my biggest console. So that would be something I'd be very interested in. And finally, a Game Pass type service. If Nintendo had a Game Pass type service, I would buy a Switch tomorrow. If they let me play their classic games, $10 a month, and I have access to a bunch of their classic games, I would be there tomorrow to buy a Switch. That's what Nintendo needs, and that would be the one wish I would have for Nintendo. Any thoughts on those?
Well, the Game Pass will be interesting to see where, at a low price you can try the games like that they have in their catalog, and then you'll be able to buy it at a lower price. That can be, I think, possible. Something with like maybe a new system ish, like where they can tease like a new system that will be like next year or in 2 years, but like they are under construction, like show us something that will be available like next year or in 2 years, a new system between the original NES and the Switch, something in between.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Anything else on Nintendo before we move on to the three publisher conferences?
No. No.
I don't have much to say for Nintendo. They're very unpredictable. I hate their conferences with a passion. I'm not like, I took the day off to watch all the other ones, but I did not take the day off to watch Nintendo's. I'm just gonna watch it. I need a fast forward button. I can't with their stupid puppets and like their little like with the Switch. I just can't. I need to fast forward through all that junk and just get to the gameplay because there's way too much talking and crap in their conferences. So let's get to Bethesda. So Bethesda, we don't know anything really, again, which is exciting. I always like not knowing going into a conference what we're going to get. Here are my predictions for Bethesda. I have 3. I only put 3 for each of the other companies because there's not as much to cover as something like Microsoft or Sony. Number 1, I think they're announcing a new Wolfenstein game. Wolfenstein, what's it called? Last Colossus or something Colossus. They kind of teased it last year, so I think this year they're going to announce it. I think the new Wolfenstein games are very, very cool and something I will be excited to see. I think they're going to announce a new Evil Within game. Evil Within 2. Yeah. Evil Within was a really cool horror. It kind of reminds me of what Resident Evil should be. It's kind of like a Resident Evil, like back when it was scary, like kind of Resident Evil 4 type game. So I really liked that game, and I think they're going to announce number 2, and it's going to look awesome. And finally, a very quick teaser for Elder Scrolls 6. I love Elder Scrolls. Skyrim and Oblivion were 2 amazing games. I think Elder Scrolls 6, but a very quick teaser for next year's reveal of Elder Scrolls 6. So those are my 3 predictions. You have any thoughts on Bethesda? Sorry.
Well, me for Bethesda, yes, a new Elder Scrolls game, and maybe why not a new Fallout game? It's been a year or 2 for Fallout 4, and it will be interesting to see a new one. Why not?
No, absolutely.
Even though it's so funny that for Fallout, because I actually live in the town where Bethesda is.
Okay.
Bethesda Softworks is the headquarter. It's where I live, but
Cool.
it's interesting how the company started with the first games, and now the graphic is better stories, and having a new they could name it Skyrim 2, Skyrim was the game, and then they did Elder Scrolls Online. It will be interesting to see, those two, a new Fallout and a new Skyrim, which they will name it Skyrim 2,
Right.
that I would like to see.
As far as my wishes, for me, I like to see Fallout get some time in new content. I know they're done with the DLC of Fallout 4, but I'd like to add just a little bit more if possible. I'd like to see a big new IP from Bethesda. They've been kind of rehashing the same IPs for a while now, so I'd like to see something completely new from them that we've never seen before. And I'd like them to remaster the original Doom. In the new Doom that they made, was it last year? You can go into old Doom levels as part of like an Easter egg. I think it'd be really cool to have that Doom's graphic, but remakes the first one, like map for map, same enemies, but just in the new style. I think it'd be really, really cool. So those are the three things I'm really hoping for from Bethesda.
Yeah. So, can we pause a second? I have to go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Give me a second, okay?
I'll just talk while you're
can. Yeah. I'll be right back.
Cool. So basically, that's it for Bethesda. I think Bethesda is going to have a good conference. They did last year. I like their style of conference as well. I think Bethesda's conferences tend to be to the point, less talk, and I like that. I don't want these big productions all the time that a lot of these companies do, and we're going to get to that with EA. That is just terrible with that too. So much talking, and I hate when they do people playing live on stage. Like, it just no good. So hopefully Bethesda is going to do good again this year. And something else that I expect from Bethesda this year is I think we're going to see a new mobile game like we did last year with Fallout Shelter. So that's something else that I think is going to be shown at Bethesda's conference, maybe with Doom, maybe with Wolfenstein, maybe with Evil Within, maybe with Elder Scrolls. I don't know. But I have a feeling that Bethesda is going to have a mobile game in the same style as Fallout Shelter last year. And again, release it that night for everyone for free. So that's my other prediction for Bethesda. All right, welcome back.
Hey, sorry, I am with a friend of mine right now next to me. So what were you talking about?
Basically, that I like their style of conference. They're to the point. They show gameplay, they explain the gameplay, then they move on. There's no big theatrics and stuff like that. And I have a feeling they might do another mobile game like they did last year with Fallout Shelter. So
or they could name it Fallout Shelter 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Or FS2,
Yeah, or something along those lines. Is there anything else for Bethesda before we move on to EA?
No. Only for me, it will be game and the Skyrim game, a sequel of each. But yeah, that will be it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So let's get to EA, Electronic Arts.
Yes.
Three things
Yes.
that we
Yeah.
three things that we know so far. Number one, Battlefront 2 will be a big presence at the EA conference. Number
Yeah.
two, they're going to show off a new Need for Speed. So that's something else. And number three, as it is the case every single year and will be for the rest of time, a lot of sports. They're going to show off Madden, NBA, probably NHL a little bit, some type of fighting game maybe, and just plug you in the head with sports, which is EA's kind of MO. As far as predictions, I have three. Number one, the Untitled Star Wars game is going to get a quick gameplay demo. We know that Visceral is working on a Star Wars game. They showed it very, very, very quickly last year. I think we're going to get a little bit of a gameplay demo this year. Number two, we're going to see an announcement for Plants vs. Zombies 3, and they're going to add a third element to the game. So Plants vs. Zombies 1 kind of focus more on the plants. Plants vs. Zombies 2 focus more on the zombies. I think this year we're going to get Plants vs. Zombies versus ninjas or pirates or something else.
Humans.
Yeah, maybe human. I don't know if they'll go humans, though. I think they'll go some. Well, they are humans. Ninjas and pirates are humans, technically.
Yeah.
But something else. They're going to bring in a third element to the whole thing and make it a game, which is a series I really like, by the way. And finally, I think EA is going to bring in a new big open world IP in the same style as Destiny or The Division. So one of those kind of like all multiplayer open world, tag along with your friends type game, like Destiny, like The Division. I think EA wants to get into that market as well. And I think this year is when they announce a new IP to do that. So those are my three predictions. Any predictions for EA?
Well, me, for EA, since I'm a member of EA Access,
Me too.
I would are more mainstream part of it.
Yeah.
I would like to see like other EA. They have the Mirror's Edge.
Yep.
Maybe a third game for Mirror's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Of course, Need for Speed. I love playing Rivals.
Right.
What else? Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Cool. As far as wishes, I have three. Number one, Star Wars 1313 gets re-announced. About several years ago, we saw a trailer for a game called Star Wars 1313. It was a bounty hunter game set on Coruscant in the bad part of Coruscant in the underground. It looked amazing. It looked great. It's kind of like Star Wars Force Unleashed, but on crack. Unfortunately, they shelved the game, and now EA has the license to Star Wars. So I have a feeling they're going to pick up the pieces and continue working on Star Wars 1313. That's a wish, though. EA Access gets access to Titanfall 2. So EA Access has the first Titanfall, but they never added Titanfall 2 to the service as part of their previews. I would like them to announce that the Titanfall 2 and Battlefield 1 get announced to the vault of the EA Access. And finally, I'd like to see Peggle 3. It's been a while since we got a Peggle. I really enjoyed Peggle 1 and 2. It's a quick, easy game. I'd love to see Peggle 3. So those are my wishes for EA. Any wishes for you?
Me, I never played Peggle, so having Battlefront on EA Access and trying to have not days before or a week before having like 2 weeks or 3 weeks before trying out the full game that comes out. That would be cool. And I was happy to be able to play Battlefront and Mirror's Catalyst. But yeah, having and then you invite your friends to come to your place and to try out the new game 2 weeks in advance. How awesome is that?
No, exactly. No, for sure. Anything else for EA before we go to Ubisoft, which I'm sure you're just waiting for with bated breath?
Yeah, I'm a big Ubisoft gamer. I have almost all their big names. So yeah.
All right, so let's get to Ubisoft right now. Here are the three things we know about Ubisoft. Number one, they will show Assassin's Creed, finally.
Yes.
The leaks are starting to happen. Right, well, we're pretty sure it's called Origins. It was originally called Empire. So we'll see.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so we'll see. It's probably Origins because of the leaks and everything. They already have the posters and stuff out there. So that'll be shown for sure at the conference. They're going to show more Far Cry 5. They recently announced it. I think they're going to show probably some gameplay this time as opposed to a trailer. And finally, probably the final gameplay trailer for South Park, the second South Park game, which is what was it? It's The Fractured But Whole. It comes out this year, and then they're going to show it off for the last year for sure. My three predictions are: number one, a new Splinter Cell game will be announced from Ubisoft Toronto. I think it's been a long time since we've seen Splinter Cell, and I think it's the year that we get it back on the forefront. Number two, three Ubisoft arcade games are going to be announced, and all are going to look great. So what I mean by arcade games are kind of smaller indie games that Ubisoft is going to publish. One of my favorites of all time was Valiant Heart, and that's something that Ubisoft did. And I really would love to see more games in that type of style. So I think that Ubisoft is going to announce 3 indie titles at their conference. And finally, they're going to announce a brand new IP that we've never heard of before. And I predict it's going to be my game of the show at my E3 award show next week. I think Ubisoft is going to show us the coolest game of the entire show, and it's something we've never heard of before. So those are my 3 predictions. What about you?
Me, so gameplay for Far Cry 5. Of course, a multiplayer, the co-op we had for Unity, for the new origin of Assassin's Creed. Where you will be like, how on Call of Duty or Battlefield you play, dedicated servers, a range of people, but this time if you are good at the game, you play with only the best players, having servers only for medium players and for noobs and for the best players. At a sort of Call of Duty-esque, the new Assassin's Creed, even for Far Cry 5, same thing. And I would like to see a new game. I love Division. I get the collector's edition, so I get to have my own watch, and great game. And I play on the game Ghost Recon Wildlands. I'm playing with the outfit from Division.
Okay, see, I'm doing the opposite. I'm playing Division with the suit from Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I try out the Assassin's Creed outfit on Ghost Recon, or I would like to see, my prediction will be maybe a new release, a new Ghost Recon game. Never thought about maybe a World War II. because if I remember right, there was never a World War II storyline for Ghost Recon.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool for sure. My wishes, and after the wishes, we're gonna go into in depth with Assassin's Creed since you're such a big fan and I'm such a big fan. But okay, so my wishes, my first one is very close to what you said. I want either a big Division update, like something that's really gonna kind of change the game so that I can keep playing for another 25, 30 hours, or a tease for Division 2. I love the Division. The Division captured me since the first time I saw it, like 4 years ago. Just something about that world that I really appreciate. I really love being in that world. I think they nailed what snow looks like in a city, and I would know. I live in Canada. It feels exactly like what it looks like in real life. Just a great game. I really enjoyed it. I went through it twice completely. I want something for the Division to be announced at the conference. The other one, I want a Valiant Heart sequel or inspired game. Valiant Heart was in World War One, maybe something out of World War 2 or if they think World War II has been done too much, maybe take another obscure war. I would love to see one about the Korean War. My grandfather is a veteran of the Korean War, so I think it would be a cool war to explore. One that, other than the TV show MASH, nobody really talks about the Korean War as if it didn't really happen. So, in fact, if it wasn't for MASH, I don't think anyone would know that there was a Korean War or would remember. And my third one is... my mouse moved. Okay, so Ubisoft has had a lot of platform issues lately. Their games are constantly down because of server issues. It's been kind of a problem. I know recently they had a major issue where all their games got shut down for a couple hours, and this has been happening a lot lately. I kind of feel like Ubisoft maybe owes us a little bit for this, and I have a feeling...
Well, they did. I think they did. I got for PC. I think it was The Crew. No, right. For Xbox One, I got The Crew for free because of all the down thing from Division last year.
Okay.
So and I know they gave us something, and I got The Crew for free.
Okay. Well, I think you're going to do something similar this year. I think I think they're going to give a game away, essentially. I don't know which one they'll give away. It won't be one of their bigger titles, that's for sure. But it's just something to kind of say, look, we're sorry. We know. We're working on it. Here's Assassin's Creed Syndicate for free. Assassin's Creed Syndicate is a great game. It didn't sell particularly well because of... I think the reason it didn't sell well, honestly, is because Unity was such a mess when it was released, and people kind of associated with Unity, where Syndicate was a great game from the get-go, in my opinion anyway. So maybe Syndicate would be a good title to give away to all platforms as an apology. Just my thought. And it's a good way to get people hyped for Assassin's Creed, which is what I want to talk about now. So you're a big... Have you finished all the Assassin's Creeds?
Yeah. Except, of course, Rogue.
Right.
That I just got because of the backward.
Right.
But yeah, I finished all of them, and storyline-wise, it's interesting to see and to play as, for example, for Unity, you play as Arnaud, and you are in France during the French Revolution. I was waiting for the Revolution game. I was waiting for it, and then
it's a French company.
It was good. It's a French.
It's a French company with a game made in a French province of Canada, and they finally get a French game, and there's no one speaking French in the game. I was like, what the hell?
Well, except if you change the language. I change the language to French, and in Paris they do speak French.
Right. Well, yeah.
game. But yeah,
No.
me for Assassin's Creed Origin, I more kinds of weapons,
Okay.
and because on Unity or on Syndicate there was not a lot of
Right.
the more of elite that you need to spend almost the entire game to end of it. A bigger bonus. What is the storyline for Origin? Do we know?
I think it's going to be how the Assassin's Creed starts. I think it's going to be the
Okay,
origin
okay, okay,
of
okay,
the
okay,
Creed.
okay,
So
okay,
it'll
okay,
be like
okay,
the
okay.
first people who start the Creed.
And
Yeah,
they
that's
they
my
will
thing.
still talk about the Apple of Eden, of course, right?
Yeah, apparently there's still going to be a little bit of
Ouais.
future elements, like the
Okay.
present. The guy and the girl there are still going to be kind of present in it. I'm a little over the future stuff, just because it doesn't make as much sense as it used to. Like when they had Desmond going, it kind of made sense. It was kind of continuous story, but when they got rid of Desmond, it just like Assassin's Creed 4. It was about making a video game.
Yeah, yeah. The new
Yeah,
game from Abestro.
right, exactly. Which was
Yeah.
such a weird. Now, the only reason I personally liked it is because I got to see my city in the future because they're in Montreal in Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
4. So I was very happy about that. But other than that, there's really no reason to have any of that crap. Then in Unity, I don't even remember what it was in Unity. Was it just cutscenes? Maybe to the
There
future?
was cutscenes with uh,
And there's like
yeah,
those
with
portals you go into.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then in Syndicate, it was also, I think, just cutscenes and voiceovers. I don't think he actually went and saw anything in
You
the future.
no,
I don't know.
no, no, no.
Yeah, they kind of mix together,
The
when you've played all of them.
and having a good DLC. I
Yeah.
try out the Jack the Ripper DLC. I
Yeah.
I didn't finish it. Um, and it was interesting to see as you play as Jack the Ripper, but
Right.
for Origins I don't know who, because it's before Altair, and I
No.
don't see who or was at that period of time.
Right. So what do you want out of this game? If you got to make
Well,
this game,
a
what are you hoping
better
for?
co-op,
Yeah.
easier access to co-op,
Oh my god,
because
yes. Oh, whew.
it's a little bit glitchy.
It was impossible. I had so much trouble playing co-op on Unity. It was ridiculous.
For I mean, a longer storyline. Are pretty long already, but it took me. Don't laugh. It took me almost a full year to finish Syndicate,
Right.
because I got to try out and get sidelined by other side missions, but having a full blown storyline, and with more cool characters that will be helpful
Right.
storyline game for the as a campaign,
Yeah.
um, better, more choices of characters. I mean, it
Right.
was interesting to play as Evie, but more people that you could play with, and different characters have different better weapons or better. I know I'm one of the, what was it? Not Infinity Warfare, but the previous game, Advanced Warfare from Call
Right.
of Duty. I know it sounds like it, but I think it could be interesting in using historical characters as you play. You play as them, you
Right.
know.
No, for sure. Yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, if you've watched these shows I've done every year, this is the 4th or 5th year that I do E3
Okay.
predictions on my channel. Every single year, there are 2 things I'm excited about. I'm excited about a new Assassin's Creed, and I was hoping for a new Egyptian game. I always thought Egypt was a super interesting time period, and we never
Okay.
really got a proper Egyptian game. So now I get both in one. I'm super excited. I hope the world is massive. I hope what you do is affects the world, kind of like in the Division, right? So in the Division, for those who don't know, you have a home base, and as you progress to the game, your home base gets more full of people. It gets updated, and it's really, really cool. And I hope to see that in Egypt as you save slaves or whatever the case may be. The towns get a little bit nicer, and it just like progresses that way. I really hope the online multiplayer is fun. I thought it was great in Unity when it worked, but it worked so rarely that it was kind of annoying. And I'm just super excited about it. I can't wait. Like, this is really one of the games I'm most excited about this year. So Ubisoft has something great on their hands, and I can't wait to see it. Anything else on Ubisoft before we move on to the final segment, which will be pretty short?
No, I mean Ubisoft. They are my favorite publisher, and I almost every single games from them. I started, of course, with the first Assassin's Creed game, and when I knew they were going to make a game called Division, and with the storyline that it was interesting. I would like to see if they do like a Division 2. It will be like not in New York, but somewhere in Europe, maybe in London or even in Moscow or Paris, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where they're going to do Division 2. I have a feeling they're going to keep it US just because that's what they do. And I don't know if they'll do Chicago because Watch Dogs did Chicago.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see where they
Or
put.
even, Division in Montreal, right?
Yeah, I would love that, but no one else would. At least they only have to look out their window and make the game, so that it would be very convenient for them. But no one else wants to see. No one wants to see a game set in Canada. Is basically what it's going to come down to. So for the final segment, just quickly, kind of others outside of those 6 conferences, if we're going to see anything else, just a few predictions I had. I think we're going to see Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer at Sony's conference. Even though we heard about Kingdom Hearts 3 forever, I think we're going to see a better trailer this year. I think we're going to see a new BioShock being announced, maybe at Microsoft's conference, but that's kind of a hope because I love the BioShock franchise. I think we're going to see a new Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer at Sony's conference as well. We know it's coming out next spring, but I think they'll give us a second trailer. I'm really hoping for a new Monkey Island. Not holding my breath that we're going to get that. I hope we see a new Secret of Mana remaster, kind of like what they're doing, but I don't think that'll happen either. Hoping for Castle Crashers 2. Also not holding my breath. And finally, they already announced it now. I had it written down. They're doing Mega Man Legacy Collection Part 2, which I'm very excited about. And I hope they do a Mega Man X Legacy Collection at some point as well. Anything outside of the 6 that you have wishes for that you want to talk about?
Well, Kingdom Hearts, yeah. Maybe like something, a new system.
Okay.
From somebody that we know a little about, a new system.
Like Apple or something?
Yeah, like maybe Apple making their own console now.
Right.
That can be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Uh, maybe like more excellent games for smartphones,
Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool.
like more mainstream games
Mm-hmm.
for smartphones, and exclusive to a specific smartphone also,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah, probably iPhone or the Galaxy, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, for sure. Yeah, so that's it. So that's it. I think we covered most of the conferences. Let's see how right or wrong we are as the conference
And
develop. Yeah.
we'll see that. I am off on Monday, so I'll be watching Ubisoft conference live.
Yeah.
And if you want to be live also while we watch it,
Mm-hmm.
if you want, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to watch it live. I'll see. But if you can, I'd like to do this after the conferences, so maybe next Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that,
Yeah, sure.
and go over the conferences and what we actually saw.
Yeah.
And in between that, for everybody, I'm gonna do a very quick video after each conference and give my really quick thoughts about them on this channel. And then next week we're gonna recap all the conferences, put together, see how our predictions were, and talk about all that. So thank you for watching the prediction show. Julian, is there anywhere on social media that people could follow you? That YouTube channel? I know you just started posting videos again pretty
I
recently.
am
So
I am on Twitter, DJ Frenchy 666 on Twitter, and that's I'm and sometime on releasing panels and unboxing sometimes, and doing sometime interview on YouTube. That's about it.
okay. Very cool. So everybody, go check out Julian's stuff. Thank you very much for coming on. I really, really appreciate it.
No
If you follow this
problem.
channel, it's all Flipping the Nerd. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all that stuff. You got Facebook, everything. Just Flipping the Nerd is where you can find me, and you can game with me on PSN. It's Alvatar 316, ALVATAR 316, and on Xbox it's Flipping the Nerd. Do you want to give out your handle on Xbox, or you want to keep it private?
Yeah, sure. It's supported Julian. One word, Julien.
Okay, so there you go. So if you'd like to
Supported, yeah.
play some Division or some Assassin's Creed with Julian, there you have it. If you want to play anything with me, just hit me up. I'm always up for playing. So
Okay.
thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all on the flip side. Goodbye.
Bye.